Hey everyone, this is Cameron, the co-host and editor on Renegade Animation on renegadepopculture.com. If you like what we do, please give us a like, a follow, and a rating on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to us. We are everywhere a podcast can be found, and that now includes YouTube, baby! That's correct. We got ourselves a YouTube channel now, Renegade Pop Culture on YouTube. That's where you can also find us now, with complete archived folders and collections of our podcasts. And if you can, consider supporting our Patreon. That way we can keep doing what we love, and that's talking about the wild, animalistic world of animation. And now, on with the show.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Renegade Animation on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. My name is Mike. I'll be your host this evening. Joining me, as always, is the animation guru himself, Cameron.
Howdy, howdy.
And, of course, everyone's favorite Crazy Lemur, Bree.
Shakira.
And yes, we are talking about Zootopia 2, the latest film from Disney Animation. But before we get there, we do have some good news. So, if you were not able to see 100 Meters in theaters, you'll be happy to know that it's arriving on Netflix at the end of the month.
So yeah, good news, everyone. You can now watch one of the best movies on Netflix. And whatever you have to say about Netflix, it is great to have a way for this wonderful movie to reach a wider audience, because now a lot of y'all have no excuse to check out this movie, because once it's widely available on a streaming service, one that most people own, mind you, you get on that shit, because 100 Meters is still like top 5 for me. It's probably in second place right now, like with Little Amelie staying in first. But that's just good news all around.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there with me and Sinners this year. I mean, honestly, if you knew where to look, we cooked good this year. Ironically, less so with animations. At least American animation, but yeah, it's dropping on Netflix. They just dropped at the time of recording, the trailer a couple hours ago, and it's going to be dropping New Year's Eve, December 31st.
So, don't walk, you run to your Netflix to give it a watch and all that jazz.
Because we know you're all going to be on there anyway, hate watching Stranger Things, so...
Naturally.
We need to, cement or somehow get, a fan dub of that one GIF or meme from Peaky Blinders, where Cillian Murphy is just saying to everyone in this one room, no hate watching. Don't even think about it. No hate watching. Just...
for me, I'm, so committed at this point. And also, now that I know how to write, I'm just curious. I'm observing it, but I know, unfortunately, I'm in the minority.
I mean, we'll have to see. It seems like people like it so far right now, but times will tell to see how, once it settles in and how people fully react to it. But we also have some other news that includes a new trailer for Sony Pictures' GOAT, which luckily I got to see on the big screen when I went to see Zootopia yesterday. And a new trailer for Pixar's Hoppers, and a teaser for Toy Story 5. A lot of trailers getting released right now. And I mean, the Toy Story 5 one is cute. There's nothing really to talk about there.
It's just a typical Toy Story teaser. Pretty much all the same in that the first teaser is no real footage from the movie.
Except for maybe a little bit. And all I'm waiting for is just the explanation about how the hell did Woody get back there? Isn't he supposed to be stuck in some random small town carnival and antique store? So helping other toys? It's also funny to get both the Hopper trailer and the GOAT trailer so near to one another, because the overall discussion is going to be about Zootopia 2 and Jared Bush and his recent comments in an interview about what they're going to do with Disney feature animation, because he is now the head of it after Jennifer Lee stepped down, which I feel so bad for Jennifer Lee. Honestly, like, she got shoved into that position because of Frozen, and I hate the fact that she is probably getting a lot of the blame for the last few years for Disney, and it's just like, don't put it all on her, man. That's a hell of a task for someone to go from, like, Brie, what did you say, like, a writer to then?
Yeah, because I think she was a friend of Rich Moore, and they were like, "Hey, there's a story that called Wreck-It Ralph that we're having, trouble with. Do you think you could come in, maybe help us with some rewrites?" So imagine this is probably like, I don't know, like late 2009, 2010.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because as some people should know about animation, it is a timely and costly endeavor. So expect every animated film to at least take 4 years at most. Unless you're like Hayao Miyazaki and you take like 6 or 10. I like both trailers, honestly. Like, they get the job out about what kind of movies they are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I really dig the dark humor in Hopper. Like, it is fully unapologetic about, like, yeah, man, animals eat other animals. It's like the rule says, when you're hungry, you just gotta eat.
I mean, at least you got a good trailer. I saw Wicked for Good over the weekend on an AMC laser, and boy howdy, that SpongeBob trailer looked rough.
Are you talking about the second trailer?
Yeah, the one that released maybe like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one yet. I keep getting the first one, the one with the lucky brick, and then, like, I can feel it in my buns. Patrick, can't you? Nope. But don't let me stop you.
No, it was the one with the lucky
Yeah,
brick.
I haven't actually seen the new trailer in theaters yet, but God, I am so sick of the first one.
I can't even imagine, because, I mean, AMC Laser is a nice format. It's not the most deluxe format, but it does show a lot of detail. And boy, howdy, that... And you know what the crazy thing is? Like, it was, like, right after that, or, like, the one trailer, like, after that was the Super Mario Galaxy teaser, and holy crap, that's, like, night and day.
Right?
It's, like, at first, when the first teaser came out for In Search for SquarePants, I thought it was, like, the stylized animation of the third movie for some reason. And then when I saw it, like, 500 other times, it was like, oh, this is like the Netflix specials kind of style of animation, where it's not as hyper expressive and faux stop motion-y. Oh. And it sucks because I think the trailer came out around the same time as that SpongeBob short, Fetch Gary or something like that, where it is like 6 to 10 minutes of non-stop amazing stylized CGI that looks like stop motion and such.
Yeah, that was great.
And it's like, why would you ever want to go back, like, regress backwards after you do the Sponge on the Run style?
And you know what's, like, crazy? Like, legitimately, I've seen episodes of Camp Coral that looked better and had, like, more polish. Like, that's my whole thing, is this looks like so... It looks rough. It almost looks like one of those motion simulator graphics. You know, if you've ever seen, like, the SpongeBob, like, motion simulators from, like, the 2000s, or, like, the THQ, like, SpongeBob game. It reminded me so much of that. And I kind of have a theory, if you guys are willing to hear it.
Oh boy.
So, I'm gonna assume that this movie was in production around the same time Smurfs was. I'm starting to have the sneaking suspicion that this movie, like, at some point in production, had its budget slashed.
You know what? I wouldn't be shocked. I feel like it has to have been some kind of budgetary thing, because even though, like, yeah, SpongeBob may not be as popular as it once was at its peak, but it's still very popular. You think you would want to throw money at that, but, like, is this just kind of like, whatever, we'll just do another SpongeBob movie and see what happens? But I'm not going to say or put on my tinfoil hat and say, like, oh, is this the final wind down of SpongeBob? And it's like, no, that's not what's happening. It's more just they cheaped out or something happened with production. Or or maybe Paramount was just unhappy with the fact that they couldn't make as much money as they wanted to with Sponge on the Run because it was about to be released during the pandemic times. But even then, if it had stylized animation, it would still have to be funny and like well written, which has been the biggest issue with the SpongeBob movies. Plankton at least had a fun, straightforward story. It didn't like butcher the characters like it did with Sponge on the Run or the Sandy Cheeks movie. So,
which I keep forgetting that movie even exists.
You're not missing much.
No, you're not. The Plankton one, if you're going to watch one of the two Netflix ones, watch the Plankton one. That one is funnier, it has a better story, and the animation is way better than... Like, it has more ambitious cinematography, which is so weird to say, like, this SpongeBob movie has impressive cinematography. It's just like, no, I'm not saying Roger Deakins shot the movie, okay? I'm just saying... I'm just saying it looks better than what the Sandy Cheeks movie, which looks like it got its budget slashed hard. God, and it took like a year and a half, like or so, to finally get it out there after it got leaked. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. It did get leaked.
Yep.
Which sucks. It wasn't good. So, with the Hopper trailer, I'm digging what they're showing so far, and I like the new character design style. Like, I think this is the same person who did the Mitchells versus the Machines, because it's the look of the eyes for me that gives me that distinction that Hopper had a different art style. Because you look at the eyes and the way that John Hamm's character looks, and it's very Mitchell's.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the same character designer, but I do just really like the design of the animals, and also the fact that the animals' faces look different when the main girl is talking to them versus when we see them with humans. They turn back into just like regular animal faces.
See that black beady little eyes, a doll's eyes.
Soulless.
Oh gosh. I just got done watching The Sting, and I realized that one of the main actors was the guy who played the fisherman in Jaws. I could not get that out of my head after watching him, so seeing that movie. But it looks fun, and it seems like it's got a lot more energy to it than Elio and such, which we all know what happened with Elio, so...
Yep.
Yeah, probably the less said about that, the better.
I mean, we literally made an episode all about, like, what's going on with Disney and Pixar because of the whole thing with Elio, because it was horrifying to hear about what happened with that movie. And it seems like they've learned their mistake or realized, oh, they're going to publish shit like this if we keep messing around with production like that. And luckily, it seems like the director of Hopper said, like, yeah, no, this did not get messed with at all. Or his perspective on it was, things change during production, so you kind of have to let that go. Which, I'm sorry, like, I mean, I respect what he says, but it sounds like his film didn't get messed with because his story wasn't a allegory of growing up gay and isolated in a world that was going to see you as like an entity of unknown origin, like what Elio was. And even though there are some elements of that in Elio, and I have seen some people line up on it since its release, it's still like could have been way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't blame the artists or the directors who had to get brought in because Disney and Pixar were like, ill queer allegory. And now with Goat, I want to talk about the fact that with Zootopia 2, Hopper, and Goat, I know some people are sick of the fact that they're like, oh my god, more talking animal movies. But if you take that very basic surface level observation away, it's a great study about character design and how to get certain personality traits across your characters without having to literally tell the audience about who they are, like being told instead of shown and such. Like, for example, I think Stephen Curry's character is the giraffe, if I remember reading about like who he was, since he is also an executive producer on this.
Which I thought interesting that Steph Curry's getting into it. Which, fun fact, I actually have a Jersey Shore bootleg jersey of his. But it's like interesting. I'm like, and you know what I'm just realizing? Has there really been, other than Space Jam, like a basketball adjacent movie with talking animals?
You know, now that I think about it, I don't think so.
Like, really, the only animated film I can think of that's even just basketball related is the first Slam Dunk, which, freaking amazing movie. And, like, if you loved 100 meters, you will love the first Slam Dunk. I think it's still on Netflix. What I'm talking about with character design philosophy with this is, like, you look at Stephen Curry's character as a giraffe, and even though, like, the trailer line said from Patton Oswalt, who plays the coach, which, hooray, I love Patton Oswalt, is that the character's good, but has a hard time paying attention. Well, what kind of animal would portray that well? Like a character who has his head in the clouds, daydreaming. A freaking giraffe. That just makes so much sense to me. Because of, well, they're like the tallest animal on Earth.
Yeah, and their heads are literally in the clouds.
So it's just like, of course, that makes sense that a giraffe would be having a hard time focusing. Or like with David Harbour's character, the rhino. It's like, gentle parenting. Well, even though rhinos are like look imposing and can be extremely dangerous if they're charging at you, they're not hyper aggressive animals. So it's very cool to see that, like, yeah, a rhino, instead of being the biggest tough guy in the room, is like the most docile character among the hyper aggressive characters of the basketball team, or roar ball as they call it, which I had the hardest time realizing that's what they were calling basketball. Like, is this like a Kleenex thing where Kleenex is not actually the name of the product, it's like the brand? It's like, can we not say basketball in GOAT?
It is kind of funny how they've given what we all know is basketball just a very different name.
Yeah, roar ball.
And another like good example of picking an animal and character, Nick Kroll as the, like, they say he's a Komodo dragon, but he's kind of like a mix of most monitor lizards, plus maybe a bit of a iguana and such. Which, yeah, you want someone who's a little off kiltered, maybe a little like wild and such, and just someone weird. Well, have you ever seen a monitor lizard or a like bearded dragon or iguana owner? Like,
Yeah,
those lizards are they're kind of weird. They're weird pets, and I'm not saying they're bad pets, but the whole thing of him laying across two seats and then like looking over like he's in a like hungover state as the main character freaks out about the skin. He's just like, yeah, that's just my skin. Like, I'm not happy about some things in the trailer, like the fart joke, but that's just me. But like, I do like the fact that David Harbour's kids, like characters' kids in the movie, are the ones who are like hyper aggressive. And then, like, with the ostrich, you want to get someone like, what kind of animal would be so paranoid and nervous about reactions from social media? Yeah, an ostrich, because even though they don't technically shove their heads in the ground, that was always, like, a stigma about an ostrich, was that, like, when they were nervous, they would just stick their heads in the ground. So, it's very cool. It's a great way to get character across in a story without having to really work super hard about it. And of course, it's got all that great stylized animation that Sony is doing right now. It's a very cool looking movie. Like, no matter what happens, it's going to be a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised at how excited I am for this movie because, like, Sony Pictures Animation has proven themselves multiple times by now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
still, I'm like genuinely excited to see this.
I just wish Sony would have faith in their animated films. Like, we don't need to say this, but we're going to. I'm sure the head of Sony Animation is seething mad. I mean, I'm sure he's happy that K-pop Demon Hunters has become the gigantic monster hit of the year. But I'm sure he's also kind of pissed off, like, we could be making so much money from merchandising right now, but we can't.
The last minute Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade float, and then like all on national TV. Like, what? We got our $20 million, guys.
Like, they could have had so much money if they just had faith in the project, that it made me worry that it's like, oh, great, is GOAT going to go to Netflix now because of K-pop success? Or is it just like...
Well, I think it's scheduled to go on Netflix at some point because I'm pretty sure it's part of Sony's Netflix deal. Like, I think 2026 is their last year of that.
I'm sure.
Okay, so it'll be on Netflix by like May or June or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
No, I mean, that's fine. That's expected. But what I mean was, I was worried. It's like, oh, great. The reason why we haven't gotten a second trailer yet is that they're going to shove it onto Netflix to hope for that same success, because Netflix said, hey, we'll pawn up some of the money if you let us stream it exclusively. And it's just so funny. Like, you've got the animation down. You have multiple awards and good faith from the film-going audience and the animation community, and yet they still shoved K-pop onto Netflix, thinking it was going to be a dud because we don't know how popular Korean media is going to be. And it's just like...
Yeah.
Like, Fixed was never going to be a gay box office hit. I understand the hesitation of putting that one into theaters instead of just putting it onto Netflix. But K-pop? That thing could have been such a money printer.
I know, and what's even dumber is that their biggest franchise, Spider-Verse, they can't even make money from like the merchandise and stuff because like back in like, I don't know, it was like 2010 or something, Sony was having like some sort of financial issues and they sold the merchandising rights back to Disney.
Oh, God. But like, whatever happens with GOAT, anyway, like, I'm still very pumped about seeing it because, oh boy, I made a list of what's to come for 2026 in animation. And even though it's like, okay, here we go, don't got a lot until we find out what Netflix and what the foreign animation scene has to offer us, of course. It's like very little. And it's like, oh boy, we got that freaking Cat in the Hat movie still to come out, and the SpongeBob movie. Like, to jump ahead slightly, I wish Zootopia 2 was the last of the animated films we had to watch for this podcast. I mean, I'm sorry, I feel so bad dunking on the SpongeBob movie, but it's like, it's like the Smurfs trailer syndrome. I'm so sick of the SpongeBob marketing that I'm ready for it to be done, and I'm going to try my best not to hate on it because I had to sit in the theater hundreds of times, or any time I saw a Paramount movie, because they had to shove the SpongeBob one there. It's like, I remember taking my family to go see the Mission Impossible movie, and I was like, okay, we're in the clear. We haven't seen the Smurfs movie trailer yet. God damn it! And like, there's so much disgust every time that I remember those trailers coming up, and just like, man, it doesn't look good when I'm sitting here with the Oscar-nominated shorts, and you're trying to sell me on a Smurfs movie, and it doesn't look good. But in some, well, let's get this sour news out of the way. I was ready to talk about the whole Amazon AI dub nonsense, but they quickly backtrack on that because I'm sure after the huge pushback that they got, some license holders were like, hey, we didn't tell you or say you could do that. Take that shit down now. And they quietly took it down. But you gotta keep bullying them, folks. Do not give them an inch.
And also start writing angry emails and letters in Spanish, because apparently this was news to me, AI dubs in Spanish have been like a thing for a while. So, no mas.
Yeah, so whatever you can do to severely punish the delightful folks at Amazon who let this happen, keep doing that.
Like, normally we're like, no, don't bully people. Don't. But if it's a giant conglomerate, a huge mega corporation,
it's morally correct.
Yeah. That's why I think everyone dunked on Nintendo hard enough that the judge was like, Nintendo, you can't make this patent law. God damn it, guys. No, out about the whole Pokemon copyright thing. And it's just against Pal World and stuff. It's like, man, I love some of y'all. I mean, in a sense of like, I like the games or the stuff or services you provide. Do not piss off your customer base, y'all. It should be business 101. Don't piss off the customers, because they will come back with a vengeance. They will make your life hell.
Yep.
But we don't want to talk about that, because Amazon was like, sorry, no, we didn't do anything. What are you talking about? No, we didn't do AI dubs. What are you talking about? You're crazy. But as we jump into Zootopia 2, listen, let's see, hold on, I gotta, let's see. Okay. It is back to 0 days for animation fandom doing their fucking nonsense, okay? I had to put the counter back to 0. Right when Zootopia was coming out, some dipshits online decided to show their excitement for the movie, which, hey, no matter what the reception or the actual outcome of the movie was going to be, y'all didn't have to be xenophobic assholes about it, because boy howdy did people were happy Zootopia 2 finally gonna take down that big mean Neza 2 from China. Which is like, you know what? Brie, I think you're right. A lot of animation fans are just nationalistic, xenophobic creeps, man. Like, holy shit. Some of y'all are bad.
You know what? It's as racist as anime fans are, at least they're honest about being racist.
Yeah, that doesn't make it okay, but at least they're honest about it.
Like, good lord, half of y'all just are either aware or are going to try to play off the fact that y'all cannot handle that the highest grossing animated movie of all time was Neza 2, a foreign animated movie, which, one, learn how many people actually live in China. Like, China's economy and population has been making their local cinema and films huge box office hits. It is not a shock that Neza 2 became the highest grossing animated film of all time. The original movie was an immense success back in 2019. Why can't y'all be normal about this? Would y'all be mad about this if, like, Hayao Miyazaki became the highest grossing one? No,
wait, no. Wait, Cameron, I think you should backtrack that if it was going up against Spider-Verse.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right. Ugh, God. Like, God damn it, man. Like, even if look, Zootopia 2 turned out great. Like, good. But, y'all, come on.
And you know the ones that are doing it aren't Zootopia's hardest core fans. Because, look, furries can be cringe sometime. They ain't straight up disrespectful like that.
No, I wish I didn't know that, but yeah, that's true. It's just like, y'all, you can have both movies doing well, but that one picture of, like, someone editing a Hilda photo of Zootopia holding Neza over a cliff with all the other animated movies that were down there, like Smurfs, Dogman, Fixed, K-pop Demon Hunters, Elio, it's like, why can y'all function normally? Like, have y'all touched grass?
It's literally the Babadook meme.
Yes.
Why can't you be normal? Ah!
No, just
There are layers of awful to that image that you showed us.
Right, because I kind of ruined your guys' night right before we recorded. Because you didn't know that Hilda's creator is a fucking cheating douchebag.
Yeah, I was like, what? Because I haven't thought about Hilda since the Mountain King movie or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah.
So it was like to hear that, it was like, okay, animation creators, why can't y'all be fucking normal? Stop being weird. It's like the 12 Forever person, Loud House. What was that one Cartoon Network show that it was like one of the 2010 cartoons, but it didn't.
Oh, Clarence.
Yeah, Clarence.
Ugh.
And then, of course, the Tangled series showrunner was like, I'm going to go make the best cartoons ever at the Daily Wire. Oh, whoops, I'm out of a job 6 months later. So, God. It's hard being an animation fan sometimes. It's like, because, like, normal people like us, I mean, as normal as we can be, I was hesitant about being excited about Zootopia 2. Like, listen, Encanto got lucky that it blew up as big as it did on streaming, because this was, and it still is, a 2000s era Disney situation right now. Their projects are not hitting, and I would say they are arguably like doing worse than the ones during the 2000s era, and that's saying something when they lost so much money on Atlantis and Treasure Planet. They lost so much money, man. Oh my god. But their films just haven't really been good. Like, I like Raya and Strange World, but I wouldn't really say, oh, I gotta watch those again now. Like, I was excited for Raya back then, but that was also because Raya was like a refreshing experience because we were getting out of the first wave of the pandemic. So I was ready to overlook some of the problems that it had, but yet, no, can't really escape those now. And the fact that it somehow got Oscar nominated when there were so many better movies that year, but you could have nominated Summon of the Gods or Belle, or hell, I would have taken a Wish Dragon or Vivo nomination, but no, you had to give Disney all 3 spots of the 5.
It's tragic what happened that year.
Let's be real. Strange World, nobody cared about. I went on a perfectly normal day, and I was the only one there for Strange World. And then when I said my story, I saw Wish. I was the only one there. And I walked out so mad, I bought a ticket to Godzilla -1 and then walked back into a theater because I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not leaving this theater mad. I'm not going to act like I wasted my time on a Tuesday seeing Wish. And listen, I'm not going to say Wish was my least favorite animated film of 2023, but it's not a good movie. It could have been a good movie, but nope. Disney shot down all that creativity. And we know what happened with Moana 2, so we don't need to really repeat that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how could you say Moana 2 was a failure? It made money. It made money because people, like, we are in such a bad state of representation in animation that people were willing to go see a mediocre hack job of a movie with Moana 2.
That's literally a re-edited TV series.
It's like, that movie sucks. I don't care if it made money. People were going to go see it anyway because Moana was like the highest viewed movie on Disney Plus.
That movie was just literally printing money.
And that's all it ever did. And that's all it will ever be remembered for, because I will ask you right now, do you remember any song from Moana 2? No, you don't.
Only remember Beyond, because I had to edit that in a fucking video I made.
Did you remember any story point in Moana 2? No, you don't. You can tell. It's like that Simpsons meme of like Milhouse coming out from under like this bed fort thing. It's like, it smells like pneumonia in there. No, it doesn't. Or something like that. And they're like, I think I remember the story of Moana 2. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Like, Disney Animation has been on a downward slope because of whatever is going on with the executives there. And, like, I think people had a reason to be worried about Zootopia 2. Like, yes, Zootopia was a humongous hit. It came out at, like, the exact right time. And it's still, like, a beloved movie, even if its racism allegory doesn't quite work the more you think about it. Because to me, when I rewatched the first movie, it was like, okay, the racism is still there, but it also comes off like an ableist allegory or like a sex discrimination allegory at points.
Yeah, it definitely has like shades of like, Hamilton Tumblr era, like social political commentary.
It makes it a little bit wonky watching it 10 years later, but as far as the writing itself, I think the first movie still mostly holds up.
No, it still does. It's like the characters are likable. It's still a very funny movie. I will stand my ground that the Zootopia movies are like the raunchiest movies that Disney has ever made. Because if they weren't animals, good lord, that nudist colony scene would have been a entirely different kind of scene.
Like my funniest thing about like Zootopia, like over the years, is that Disney knows. I saw on Blue Sky, one of the new pieces of merch they have is like a Nick Wilde body pillow or like a full length body plush.
They know.
That's the thing. Animators are keenly aware of how horny some of y'all are. They know about that stuff. They know about that one infamous shitpost meme comic.
Which, I have a question about that once we actually get into Zootopia 2.
But I'm just saying, like, they know. It's like I think the only thing that got that outside of that weird shitpost comic that was made, that got big or viral was the ProZD skit about the top 5 flaws of Zootopia 2. And it's just like mostly a joke where it's just like animals can't talk. Number 2, animals can't drive vehicles. God, Disney would be rolling in his grave right now. Number 3 is like, oh, wait a minute, this is actually a legit animation error right here. It's actually, oh, you know what, that's a good point. And then number 4, animals can't talk. Number 5, why are the tigers so sexy? I mean, so it's like, they know how horny y'all are. And it's like, listen, animals have been used to tell stories all the time. I mean, come on, man. Why do you think people went to see this where they're like, oh my god, I don't have to be horny for the Disney's 1970 Robin Hood anymore?
Or Lion King. I mean, when you think about it, like, the Walt Disney Company is probably, like, significantly responsible for the creation of furries.
Yeah.
I mean, when you give them personalities that are likable, yeah, what do you think is going to happen? Like that's the thing. And it's like, I know it seems weird on the outside in, but like, take away the fact that they're animals, make them humans. It's still the same thing. It just looks weird because they're animals. And I'm not trying to justify it or something. It's just my way of saying it's like, yeah, I'm not shocked that of what they do half the time at Disney and talking animals. So, but let's actually get down to Zootopia 2. So, I was genuinely surprised about how much I enjoyed watching it. Like, I legit almost walked over to the ticket counter to get another ticket to go watch it again after I walked out of it.
Yeah, I will say the G word. Zootopia 2 is great. I've seen it twice now.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Can we not say great anymore? Did it get trademarked?
It's just because it's hard to believe after, like, let's see, Encanto is 2021. Yeah, 4-year drought that Disney's finally back, question mark?
I'm not going to say they're back yet. One movie does not mean they're back. I think Jared Bush had a good team and was able to, in general, get the job done of making sure that they had a good story, they had good characters, fun writing, hilarious jokes, great on top of the great animation. Because it's like people will be like, "Well, I like Moana 2 because it looks good." Well, you know what? You don't want to know what they did to screw over those people when that movie was in production.
Yeah, that was made by Disney Vancouver because it was supposed to be a TV series.
Yeah, so like it's like no longer a thing. It's like what gamers are talking about right now, and I mean like the good gamers, not gamers trademark. What I mean when it's like we're all just really sick and tired of game companies saying like, look, you could see the pores, you can see every individual skin cell on that person's face, and it's just like, but is it fun to play? Oh no, it's not. We just dumped all of our money into high fidelity graphics because gameplay is secondary now. And it's like, no, I'm so sick of that. It's like, no, I don't care that your game looks amazing. If it plays like shit, then I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 because it looks nice. And that's the thing with animation. It looked like, yeah, Moana 2, Strange World, Wish. Well, you can debate Wish's visual quality. Like, they look good, yeah, but that's because they're Disney and they're tossing a ton of money with a large team attached to make it look good.
Looking good, baseline expectation for Disney animation these days.
Like, now we're just waiting for Disney to get it on with every other studio to start stylizing that shit. So it's like, now we want Disney to be more creative with their visuals and such. Even though history has said time and time again that no, Disney, we don't want you to do that because Fantasia flopped, Sleeping Beauty flopped, and anytime that they've tried to go out of their design philosophy, the film didn't do well, which sucks. But they were also spending a lot of money at that time, so yeah. So with Zootopia 2, we see Judy and Nick back on track, but almost because of a police sting gone wrong. Their ability to be a team is put into jeopardy, and they're like, you know what? We're going to go to this big gala event, and we think that there might be a snake that's in Zootopia now, which in the Zootopia lore, there haven't been snakes for 100 years, which perfectly explains why we saw no reptiles in Zootopia 1 or the Zootopia Plus miniseries. And it's kind of interesting to see where they go with the story, because instead of leaning on the racism allegory and discrimination storyline, this one is much more about gentrification and classism in play. Because guess what? Let's just say the ignition to the story of the foundation of Zootopia as a city basically went through the whole Monopoly horror story that happened, basically. And you can't tell me that's not what it is, because that's what it is. It's a woman, or in this case a female snake, made plans to make Zootopia livable for every animal, to make all these different environments for them. And, well, let's just say her idea got stolen by some greedy executives, and stolen, and then copyrighted to where they were the creators of the city, and the Lady Snake got screwed over in that regards. Like I said, it's a Monopoly story, where Monopoly was originally supposed to be about teaching you why capitalism is bad, and then the Parker brothers, or whoever bought the rights to the game, were like, look at this wacky new game where you spend money. And it's just like, no, wait, no, that's not what the game's about. No! It turns into much more of a murder, well, like, kind of a murder mystery thriller. I mean, more mystery thriller than murder, but, I mean, there is murder, which is shocking, to say the least. That Disney was like, yeah, we're gonna let murder be a thing.
It is kind of funny how this came out the same weekend of the new Knives Out movie.
Yeah, wait.
So you get two murder mysteries.
And I think it's all for the best. Like, while the story will, I mean, in a lot of ways, this movie coming out now has probably a much more timely, impactful story about going on because of how a bunch of rich aristocrats want to bulldoze and delocate its people to make more room for Tundra Town. And it's like, gee, there goes the gentrification right in front of our eyes, especially with what's going on right now, and especially what's been happening. Like, for example, like the whole wildfire in Hawaii, like a bunch of celebrities did pop up and say, hey, we want to donate money to help rebuild Hawaii after the wildfire. But it was also like, what's the catch with the money? Do you want a home by the ocean? Because that's where a lot of people live. So if you're only doing it so you can get a beachside house, fuck off with that. And that's essentially what is going on with Zootopia 2. The villains want to basically tear away. What's the location that this film partially takes place in? Not the desert area, but the like the swamp area.
Oh, I think it's just called like
like the marsh.
Yeah, the marsh area.
And it's like they're going to delocate a bunch of species there, including the last bastion of reptiles that live there because they got nowhere else to live because of misinformation and essentially what became like the Red Scare, or I think it was like Yellow Scare, like
with Chinese immigrants.
It's very timely, especially with what's going on right now, and then what's going on with some people going to Palestine and what they're going to do with rebuilding it. The things there, and I know it sucks to talk about politics sometimes, I understand. But this is a very politically charged movie, especially with what's going on right now in the world. You can't really walk away from it, especially with the plot. So, I mean, you could say it's still a mystery thriller, but what's the mystery thriller about? What's the motivation of our villains, which is this family of lynxes? I think they're lynx.
They're lynxes.
Okay. What I like about this movie with the change of direction and focus on like more universal thematic commentary, it's the fact that this movie is just fucking funny. Like, I can't believe how much my audience, and just like mostly myself, laughed so hard at this movie. Someone said, you know what, we don't have to make this a serious drama like the first movie. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, I think as far as like comedies go, this one, even more so than the first movie, gave me plenty of Emperor's New Groove vibes.
Like the first movie, which has more wit than like creative comedy. This one is more, you know what, we live in a world of talking animals that live amongst one another, with animals all having their own quirks and personalities. Let's just have a little fun with the setting and such.
Also, there are a lot of celebrity cameos in this, but none of them feel distracting.
I never felt distracted by them. Like, I looked up the list of them and I was like, really? You really needed some of these guys? But then it's like, no, they're not. Like, maybe if I was more familiar with catching them and such, but they weren't all that distracting.
For example, the Zebros are Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and you would only recognize them if you're big into wrestling.
It's funny how much, like, how some wrestlers now can act better than the ones that were trying back in the 80s and such.
Yeah.
I know.
Or, you know, with Robert Irwin as the koala.
Which, by the way, Dancing with the Stars ended last week, and congratulations, he's the winner.
That's funny. Do you think he won because of Zootopia 2 coming out, or do you think it was like...
He won because he was amazing.
That's cool. I'm glad for that, because I could see some executives saying, let's make sure he wins because we got a new movie coming out that he has a cameo in. I should have known he was going to be the koala and such. Make sure to give us 4 thumbs up. And it's like, what's wrong with your thumbs, man? And it's like, Oh yeah, koalas do have four thumbs. That's oh okay. Oh god. But all the visual gags, like there's like the delivery card that's in the chase in the first part of the movie, like a moose spoosh. Like I know that's like a basic joke, but I loved it. And in the Marshtown area, there's a background sign that says Ariel's Trinkets.
Oh,
And
that's clever.
and again, horny movie when Nick and Judy are going through the underground gambling area and Nick accidentally steps on a tail that plops off of a lizard, and the lizard gives him the most thirsty looking eyes, and she just says, "Keep it." And again, there's a burning man or burning mammal sequence, and even though it's Disney, and they still go like out there with the costumes and such. If you've ever seen images of what people will dress up as at Burning Man, uh, they're not too far off. It's basically like neon, vibrant, drugged out lingerie at points. So
It's really impressive how much they get away with as far as like, those pop culture references. And speaking of Disney Easter eggs, I'm pretty sure there's a sign somewhere that says fish are food.
oh yeah, I think there is. And there's like all these little background gags and such. Like the marsh area is a great area to look for gags. Like there's this one where like the fish are getting turned into chum, and the seal is just making sure all the fish look good. But if you look closely, he just sneakily grabs a fish and eats it. It just has like a bunch of great gags throughout that whole scene. Like as annoying and as like, oh god, the conspiracy theorist character is in this. But Fortune Finster, really funny. Like they knew how to dial her character in and her performance without her becoming the most annoying character.
I wasn't actually all that familiar with her voice actress, but after this movie, I need to look up just everything she's in because she was a riot.
And who is she voiced by again?
So there's this Beaver character who is a like conspiracy theory podcaster. She's a comedian, and it's funny, her podcast trio of co-hosts show up in the movie. Nibbles Maple Stick, voiced by Fortune Finster, who also like her podcast co-hosts were in the prison cell sequence. With Tig Notaro voicing the giant bear, Big Tig.
Oh god, I love her so much. And really,
Also,
Big Tig.
Michael J. Fox, he's also in the prison as Michael J. the Fox. And he says the line, "What are you looking at, butthead?"
Like, some of these were very funny, and I loved Graham from when, like, Judy is talking with her family, is voiced by June Squibb. And June Squibb is a treasure, a delight. I know people are mixed on that movie that she did that's directed by Scarlett Johansson, but she has the best line during the video call where she's just like, "I'm just waiting for you to come back home so you can make a bunch of babies." And Judy's face is just like, "Oh God." Like, again, people have seen that comic. They know exactly what they're doing with this. Never doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there's Robert Irwin's character is called Robert Furwin. Just, I don't care if these jokes are simple. I dig them. They are easy. They are fun. The Jared Bush and Brian Howard show up as these two random German goats that were a lot funnier, but I was expecting them to get used a lot more, but they don't actually get used a lot. They're what was it? The two gazelle-like individuals get used more than the German goat characters that the two directors voiced in the first movie, the neighbors to Judy.
Oh yeah,
Ed Sheeran shows up in this, and he plays one of the sheep during the barber sequence. Ed Sheeran, because And then there's Nick Giovanni, who voices the lizard bartender during that sequence. Bartender Slick D. Giovanni. Just like iguana and such. And if you are wondering, because Jenny Slate does show up in the credits, yeah, she's in this playing Dawn Bellwether, who shows up very little, but the little moments that she's in is unhinged Jenny Slate. So the Parks and Rec Jenny Slate.
Don't get suspicious.
Don't get suspicious. There's a sequence where Nick and Nibbles, the beaver, are escaping prison, and she shows up in a very Hannibal Lecter prison cell, and she's just like, "You like my furniture? I made it all out of my own wool," and she just sinks into her couch.
God.
It's that's the kind of Jenny Slate that people love, and of course, Moana's voice actor shows up as the anti-venom pen, where instead of just being like, "I'm here to help," the recorded line for the anti-venom pen is "Impale me in your heart." Let's just say this: the filmmakers have seen Pulp Fiction, and we'll go into slight spoilers, but they've also seen The Shining.
When I heard the first couple notes of that theme, I had the biggest smile on my face because I knew exactly where their heads were at. And okay, yeah, that was good.
So, spoilers, early on in the movie, during Nick and Judy's kind of dysfunctional dynamic, which I don't know if there's a term for this, but they keep baiting people who try to ship Judy and Nick as a couple, which one of the big things about the original Zootopia was that they weren't a couple by the end. They were a team of officers, but they weren't, married. So this whole movie through from time to time likes to place them as couples, and it's they're teasing the shippers and furries out of their own gourd of yeah, this could happen, but it won't happen. so during the whole sequence, at the Mansion Gala event, Judy runs into a lynx named Paulbert Linksley, voiced by Andy Samberg. And he's the fuck up of the Linksley family, with Milton, voiced by David Strahan, and his two siblings, Catrick Linksley, voiced by Macaulay Culkin, and Kitty Linksley, voiced by Brenda Song, are, they're mostly the villains of the story. And Paulbert is set up as oh, I'm the fuck up, no, my family doesn't like me. Spoilers, he turns out to be the bad guy of the movie, which I know some people are like, oh, fuck, another Disney twist villain. And it's I kind of saw it coming, but it was still well executed.
I'm kind of feeling the same way. Even the execution of this reminds me a little bit more of Frozen, just how well they kept the audience in the dark. His reveal was actually a genuine surprise.
I mean, you could kind of take a guess that he was going to be it, because a big theme of the movie is the theme of belonging. Judy and Nick want to belong as the dynamic duo that they are. Gary the Snake, which, yes, that's his last name, Gary the Snake, which I thought that was cute. Kaye Kwan is so good in this movie. And I am so glad that Gary is not just a comedic character. If Gary was just a comedic side character through the whole time, I think this movie would have gone downhill for me. It would have just been fine. But Gary brings so much heart into the movie, and Kwan has such a great dramatic performance out of it. Almost as dramatic, as well executed as his role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that's so weird to say because he's a freaking animated snake.
But that's the thing. He brings so much warmth to the character. And Yeah, I get it. He's a heat-seeking viper.
That sounds like
pit
a
viper.
yeah. That sounds like a missile, which I wouldn't be shocked if that's one actually exists. But no, he's a heat vision viper or something like that, and he is delightful, which makes it all the more tragic when you find out that Pawbird, who was helping him, like his version of wanting to belong is he wants his family to bring him in to say like, yes, I do belong with the family. Stop shutting me out because I'm not ruthless and cold-hearted, which he is in his own way, but like you understand why he's doing what he's doing. It's just a more selfish reason of belonging and such. And there's this moment where he's trying to get to the place first before like they find out where they need to find the real rights, like the contract that shows that Gary's relatives were the ones who founded and created all the tech in Zootopia. And he goes through a snowstormed hedge mage, and you hear the music tones go da na da na, and you see Pawbert looking like Jack Nicholson during that whole sequence, like before he freezes to death. Which, hey, listen, yes, it's a Shining reference, but you know what? At least it's not the Here Johnny reference or the elevator full of blood sequence. You can start referencing other parts to it, you know. Like I said, this movie is consistently funny and creative. Like, so, you know, obviously there's a new mayor, Mayor Wind Dancer, a horse voiced by Patrick Warburton, who was an ex-actor, which at first you were thinking like, oh, is this going to be like a Schwarzenegger parody? No, it's more like a Jean-Claude Van Damme parody than anything, but I do love the names of his movies. He is the star of the Nayslayer movies, and like I said, visual gags and puns galore in this movie. There's a Hungry Hungry Hippos reference. There's so much crammed into this movie. You can tell that they had a lot of fun building up more of the world, and they even let shout out to the fact that Gazelle, the Shakira character, actually gets to do something instead of being like this celebrity icon and such. But no, she actually gets a little more to do in this movie. And I'll say it, I'm sure Shakira was like, hey, has-been, listen, it's cute that you think you can do the whole hip shake thing, but leave it to the queen.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. So...
I mean, Shakira's hips are so powerful that when she and Jennifer Lopez were at the Super Bowl, a month later COVID happened. That's just how powerful she is.
There are some fun little, like, as annoying as celebrity casting can be, I loved some of the ones that they did bring on, like Dr. Fuzzby being played by Quinta Brunson, and just a perfect casting of a character and such to be the, like, therapist for the police officers who are having a hard time collaborating with their teammates and such. And, of course, Dawn Lake and Bonnie Hunt do great as Judy's parents. Stu needs to shut up, though, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying this as a criticism of the character. It's just, like, he is the dad who's, like, okay with saying, you know what? Okay is okay with me. So, and then, of course, I gotta love Danny Trejo as Jesus. I forgot what the exact kind of lizard he was.
He's a plumed basilisk.
Yeah, the ones that can run on water and such. Like, first of all, Danny Trejo is great. I will love it. I will give everything a shot that he's in. And he does get one of the better funny moments where he's just like, you gotta eat the grubs, which, by the way, I don't think they're gonna have bugs as characters in this world anytime soon, because let's just say that sooner or later, like, if what they tease at the end of the third movie is correct, they're going to introduce birds and avian animals next. Because we know this thing's going to get a freaking sequel. I mean, come on, it's made so much money in its first week.
I mean, it just broke, like, some all-time records, even in China.
Half a billion in a single weekend. Now, granted, this is Thanksgiving, so families are all in town, but the fact that it made $100 million in China alone is impressive.
And, like, I love the fact that he's just like, you gotta eat the worms, which, depending on if it's meant to be a joke about, like, if you are ever around tequila, you know about the tequila worm trend, where you drink a shot with the worm and it's supposed to make you basically get bug out, drug-wise. And Nick and Judy are just like, oh, okay. Like a opposite, more realistic reaction of the Lion King sequence where Simba eats grubs for the first time.
I was wondering if that was like an explicit reference.
And then he's just like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. Everybody, they ate the grubs. Like, this movie is just fun. Like, it's not that it doesn't have its, like, deeper moments and such. It has a lot of great moments and very tender moments, but it's just fun. I mean, come on, when you have Patrick Warburton as a egocentric blowhard actor, as a horse with a beautiful mane, you gotta have some fun with that. If, like, you botch your use of people like Patrick Warburton, then what are you doing?
Exactly.
It's like, do you know how many mayors they took down? And just the horse way of counting. 1, 2. I got up to 2. Or, like, the cute sequence where Benjamin Clawhauser is directing traffic and he accidentally, like, points the glow sticks onto the ground and it's like a laser pointer and the animals in the car in front of him are cats. The car is just like, oh my god, like, acting like a cat, and then it just drives right into a snowbank. And Benjamin's like, oh, don't do that, idiots. It's a good-looking movie. It's well-animated. It has a lot of sweet moments. And some of those sweet moments are callbacks to the first movie, like when Nick puts on the suit is a callback to, and Jared Bush confirmed this, is a callback to the sequence when Nick wanted to look good to be part of those Ranger Scout characters group. And it's just a good movie. Like, I'm not going to say it. We'll get into it. I don't know if I want to see it in one of those 5 spots at the Oscars. But, like, after 4 years of being like, well, they've kind of sucked, it's like to come back, like, swinging is so refreshing in a way. Like, and it's good for the team. Like, I'm mostly rooting for the team. I'm not saying Disney's back, baby. It's like, no, I don't care about the executives. Fuck the executives. Somehow Bob Iger got a tiny cameo in this movie as Bob Tiger.
As the weatherman, which that is how he started his career.
Oh, that's funny. Or like Anthony Snootley, voiced by John Leguizamo, the Anteater. For some reason, I thought that was Charlie Day, but it wasn't him. But I just thought that was amusing in a lot of ways. Or Stephanie Beatrice was in this movie. She played one of the hippo cops. And
yeah, nice little Brooklyn 999 reference.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like a tiny Brooklyn Nine-Nine reunion because you have Andy Samberg, Danny Trejo, and Stephanie Beatrice. And to a degree, Jenny Slate, who played a guest character on the show and such. I don't really have that much to complain about with this movie. Like, yeah, they do callbacks to the first movie. We do see Mr. Big and Frou Frou and the daughter, and like the granddaughter and such, which such a great moment of like Mr. Big basically doing Kardashian level fashion boutique bags for a legal project, like legal way to make money. Let's just say, because he's out of the icing business, let's just say. And like I said, graphic franchise for Disney, because it's like, yeah, we don't want them to use guns. We don't want to shoot any of the animals. What's a graphic way to kill someone? Yeah, let's ice them. Like metaphorically and literally. So, but the callbacks were never too distracting as a way. Like, it's not a repeat of the first movie.
Yeah, so, I think I didn't really appreciate that until the second time I saw the movie, where I really had to pay attention to the details. Also, the fact that this movie takes place literally 1 week after the events of the first one. I would have preferred if there was a little bit more time that Judy and Nick could have, like, spent together as a team. But I think the fact that this movie takes place just 1 week after the first one gives them agency to prove themselves.
Like, congrats, you took down a crime lord who was going to use racism and discrimination to rule over Zootopia. Okay, well, you know what? That's like a Tuesday here, whatever. So, I like that, like, for example, like, Flash comes back But you only see him in like the one sequence where Nibbles and Nick are like, well, we don't have a car. We escaped prison, but we don't have a car unless you know the fastest person to get us to the desert area for Burning Mammal. And of course, Nick, oh, I know exactly who to call for that. And Flash shows up. And they don't drag out his slowness as much as the first movie because, I mean, like, it works in a different context in execution than what the first movie did, where the first movie was just like, the joke was, a DMV is the worst place on earth, so let's make all of the employees there sloths, which are like the slowest mammal on earth, and which is a great joke. And it's not even like oh, this is like a parody or joke of real life. No, this is just what it's like going to a DMV.
Yeah.
You just want to get out of there as quickly as possible, and every moment is pain.
Yeah, exactly. But I love they're like, Flash, 100-yard dash. It's like, oh, okay. But then it's like, can you get us to the desert area, to Burning Mammal? And Flash is like, no. And they're like, oh, problem. And when they're inside the car, Nibbles is like, listen, I get why you hired him, but I don't think he's the fastest. And then, like, the moment Flash's claw tips touch the stick, the car just goes like, BAM! And they're just like, almost like, oh my god, they're like sinking into the back of the seats. It was like one of the few moments where they let some of the more animation get cartoonier with the expressions, which I appreciated, but I wish there was a little more of that.
Same.
Because it's kind of there, especially when Nibbles is, I mean, you see this part in the trailer where Nibbles is talking to, what's his name? The walrus character. And they do the whole, like, hey bub, hey bub, hey bub, hey bub, and such. Russ. And it's like, there are some great facial expressions there, though, like especially when Nick and Judy get a ride to the secret bar, cafe, like gambling area for the reptiles and such. The fact that instead of the transport being on the back of the walrus, it's on his stomach, so you just get this uncomfortable, awkward look of the walrus looking at you. Judy accidentally lets the word anniversary slip, and he's just like, oh, this is your anniversary? And he pulls like this lever, and there's like beautiful music and lights, and he's just like, congratulations, while still giving him that weird, awkward look. Like I said, there's so much little tiny details. There's a Ratatouille reference in the movie where they have a lion chef cooking the literal Ratatouille dish, and when Nick and Judy run by, the hat falls off, and there's a rat on top of the lion's mane. And the French raccoon chef is like, I knew it!
I think that's an everywhere once reference too.
Oh yeah, it is Ratatouille or whatever it's
Yeah.
joke. And also, shout out to Josh Gad for playing the most fed up tech support member of the police force as Paul Moldebrandt. He's like, did you turn it on and off? Have you ever thought about not being an idiot? Just like, listen, I like Josh Gad as being goofy and such, like whether it's Frozen or Angry Birds and such, but sometimes the funniest characters are played by the actors who get typecasted the most as like the lovable ones.
Yep.
Like Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows is delightful as the Chihuahua from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. But some of the time, but some of the stuff I've seen him outside of that, he is great as like the biggest dick in the room. And Josh Gad's character in Zootopia 2 is like the biggest dick in the room, despite the fact that he is a tiny mole. It's like, I wish there was a little more like depth of layers to the personal arcs of Judy and Nick. I think Judy gets a little more time to grow as a character, but Nick is kind of, I mean, it's not like he's shoved into the background, but Nick doesn't get enough to do, or I guess to me doesn't get a lot of, like, not much of an arc. Like, they imply that he has a weird issue with lizards, like reptiles, but they don't go into that at all. So, or like what's his issue with reptiles and such.
I love the character. Most of his screen time is reacting to the events that are happening because he's kind of getting dragged along on this mission.
Because Judy is too headstrong, and it's like Judy needs to slow down and such. And it's like that's really it. It's like that's what I think holds it back from like a 5-star, but keeps it at like a 4-star rating for me. Like if we had to put a rating on it, like an 8 out of 10, a 4 out of 5, or however you make sense of the rating system and such.
And I think it's how I feel about the first movie, especially after rewatch. I think they both have their strengths and weaknesses. Some of the weaknesses from the first one are strengths in the sequel, but there's still plenty of room for improvement.
So, after having a fairly lengthy discussion about this movie, like in general, like obviously we could say go see it, but yeah, everyone's going to see this. Which makes me still sad about The Bad Guys 2, because nobody went to see that, even though it has talking animals, and it was still a really fun and good movie. But for as much love as people have for The Bad Guys, they sure as hell don't go see the movies.
Which is just sad.
And it's like, even like the major animation YouTube heads did not cover The Bad Guys 2, or did it only at a later date. And it was like, what are you guys doing? But I digress. Let's talk about Oscar chances and Jared Bush's recent interviews. So let's talk about the Jared Bush stuff first. I think, I'm not going to say we're back, but I think what he said in those interviews, where he talks bluntly about the fact that, like, yeah, we haven't been making the greatest stuff here recently, and we've made a lot of mistakes creatively, and we need to gain back the trust of the people, and we need to do stuff like build up new franchises to make sure we're not stuck making the same franchise over and over and over again. Because, like, yes, would I like to see a Zootopia 3? Yes. But would I want to see like a 4, 5, and 6? No.
Yeah.
I think Zootopia is strong enough for a third movie, and then that's it. Because otherwise you're going to go into Pokemon territory where you just have to get comfortable and accustomed to the fact that after a while, when they fill up all the animals categories in Pokemon, that steak is made of a Pokemon. So,
Yep.
So either they have to justify the fact that everyone's a vegan in that universe, nothing against vegans, I'm just saying, or they have to say like, oh yeah, this steak is made of like this soybean tofu like thing that they're going to give like a health berry name or something like that until they make a soybean Pokemon, to where it's like, well, we're killing all the soybean Pokemon to make tofu. So that's the thing, because, yeah, we see a lot of fish get eaten. We see bugs get eaten. It would be awkward if Zootopia 5 and 6 had, like, fish and bugs coming into the fray. So it's better to just stop at, oh, we're going to introduce birds, and that's it. Unless they just want to go with a gonzo idea of, like, yeah, we're just going to bring back the dinosaurs. So, but Jared Bush was basically saying, no, we cannot just rely on sequels and stuff. We cannot just rely on brands that we already have. We got to keep making more original movies. And maybe take a shot, Mike. We may bring back 2D animation. So it's just...
The boy who cried 2D.
It really is. Like, okay.
Yeah, I know. It's
I
like
get
fetch.
it.
It's not going to happen, guys.
Yeah. Would I like it to happen? Yes. Would that mean that everyone's going to show up for it? No. You guys don't show up for the 2D animated films that are in theaters because they're like, ew, it's a foreign animated film. I'm not going to go see that.
Unless it's like a major IP.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, would I like for them to bring it back? Yes. I'm just not going to hold my breath until I actually see it happen. Or the executives and investors can finally say, yes, let's train and make a dedicated team of animators that can work in 2D. And listen, they're not going to go all the way back to stencil and cell animation. They're probably going to go do 2D, like digital animation.
I mean, that's what they did with Pooh. I think that was completely in harmony.
So it's like, and it looks great. It's the time, talent, and money thing, as usual with this goddamn industry. Of like, the animation can look great because you had a bunch of talented people working on it. And who knew what they were doing and such. So, and they would also just like, I'm sorry, I know Disney and all of Hollywood in general likes to spend $200 million.
We got to stop doing that.
Keep the budget small. It's okay to do 60 million. I think that's as high as I would go.
Like, I think anything over 150 million is absurd.
Like, and you can't even see it on the screen half the time, and it's not even going to the underpaid and overworked VFX artists half the time. It's going towards reshoots and the possibility of having to redo shit because they're forcing movies out the window without a third act sometime. So, we'll see. With Jared Bush being the head of Disney feature animation, I feel like I'm hopeful. I'm not going to say they're back because of that or because Zootopia 2 is back. Because even with like the nuance of the themes in Zootopia 2, they're still playing it a little safe. Let's be real here. Like, they're not going to go out and directly say what the movie is, what the story is saying. Not that they need to. It's just because, audiences should be smart to pick up on themes now.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just, like, I want to see at least 2 more movies from Disney before I say, okay, they're back in their groove.
I think the test for Disney animation proper is Hexed, because that will be their first original animated film under Jared Bush's regime. And if that movie succeeds, then we still can't say Disney's back, like with a capital B, but they're heading in the right direction. I'm not so worried about Frozen 3 or 4 because those movies are just going to make money regardless.
Yeah, which is why, this is the one time I'm kind of with the actors getting like this much of the upfront money, because you have any idea how much money Disney's made off these fuckers?
Yeah, exactly. Make that bank, man. Get the money up front if you can. Or
yeah, no, I mean, did you see the deal that,
$60 million.
over 3 and 4, but it's upfronts. But when you think of it like this way, this is spread over like a couple years. And I'm sure they're foregoing like the rights to streaming music and everything.
Yeah, no, so it's like I don't know which deal. Like, would I take the money up front or would I be like,
well, considering what happened with ScarJo, I don't blame them.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I would also wonder if they said we also want royalties from if the movie does well. So,
well, I mean, they should, because we know both of them are going to make a shitload of money. I mean, like, the last two both easily made over 1.2 billion. Chances are the next two, barring like anything like super disastrous, are gonna accomplish the same thing. And also, like, their roles compared to like a lot of celebrity voiceovers, since they're also singing everything.
Exactly. I mean, when you got Idina Menzel, she's going to be freaking like blowing her lungs out to sing that music, which I hope the music's good. Please give them time to make the music good. I mean, like, it was lucky that I thought the soundtrack in general was better than the first movie in some ways, but I still want it to be good because the last 2 musicals you made have pretty much sucked. So
as long as they have the same creative team that's doing the music, they should be okay.
I'm pretty sure Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez are coming back.
Good. Because, I mean, like, listen, I loved Into the Unknown and Show Yourself and the Lost in the Woods sequence, but the rest of that movie...
Yeah, I still cannot believe Disney willingly showed that movie. That's like them releasing the Sweatbox. I'm like, why would you be publicly acknowledging these things?
Oh, God, yeah. And so I'm hopeful, though. I want this to be good. I want Disney, the creatives at Disney, to be given like free reign to make the movies that they want. And yes, I know some want the more experimental or more like like metaphorical stuff, but you still gotta make them appealing to for a audience to want to see. So just make them fun, make them creative. Do not try to pull a Frozen 2 third act or an Elio. And then they should be good. Then they should be good. So I hope Jared Bush is going to fight for that, because I'm now kind of wondering like what is going on with Pete Docter and Pixar. Like, even though I'm looking forward to Hopper, it's like, Pete, what happened there, buddy? Couldn't you have done something about Elio? And saying like, no, we're not redoing the whole damn movie because of the subtext. That's the point. But we'll just have to see, because I'm sure some of it is on Pete Docter, but who knows? Disney likes to do that thing where they're like, "Hey, we hired this person, so if it doesn't work out and you're mad at us, we know where all the shitty fans are going to aim their blame on." For award chances, like, I feel like maybe Disney could get in. It kind of depends on what happens next with the voting body. Will they give Disney the one pity vote for Zootopia 2 because the first one won the Oscar? Or will they be like, yeah, we liked it, but we're not, Lost in Starlight's a better movie, so.
Here's the thing. Now that I've seen the movie, I'm a little bit more comfortable with it squeezing into the 5 than I was before. Like, before, I was kind of dead set on this movie needs to be great or it's not getting in. Now, I still think there are better movies that belong there, but it no longer feels like a pity vote.
Because if this movie tanked, I don't think Disney would have been in the discussion of like getting into the best animated feature category. And this will also be like the first time, or the first award season, where the Oscars are like, I mean, I don't know how they're going to reinforce this, but they're going to make sure you watch every single one, like, movie submitted. So you're not just be like, derp a derp, I'm letting my kids choose because I don't take animation serious. Like, burp a derp a derp. And, or like with some of them saying, yeah, I'll just turn on the screener and then go to the gym. So it's like, I love that they want to crack down on that, because I'm sure after
it's embarrassing.
I mean, it is embarrassing. It's like, what do you mean you guys are voting and you haven't watched all the movies? What are you doing? Like, I know some of you worked on the movie, so I know what you're going to vote for, and that's fine. But the other ones, you have no excuse. Like, what the hell was Meatloaf doing that whole time? He was in the Academy, but he was barely in anything outside of Fight Club. So,
or like, even more, admitting like, hey, yo, I just send out screeners with like zero regard for anything. Like, just publicly admitting that. You're telling me that they don't know like who those anonymous voters are at this point?
They have to by now.
that's the thing. It's like, they know. I would be shocked if we saw none of those pop up anymore after this whole thing, because, and like, I'll be real, if they're not going to fucking vote or take this thing seriously, kick them out. Like, I don't care if there's some established actor, producer, writer, effects artist, whatever. If they're not watching it, kick them out. It's not hard to sit down and watch the submitted movies. Some of the movies are going to be there in multiple categories. You can literally knock some of them out of the park, like by saying like, okay, I like this one for music but not for costume, or this one for cinematography but not for any of the acting noms. It's like, just do it. So, like, I'm going to email the people who submitted Endless Cookie so we can watch it and say like, hey, you know what, that's pretty neat. Maybe it deserves one of those spots. But we don't know because we haven't watched it yet. We're the only movie that I feel like it's perfectly okay to not watch is the Happy Science propaganda cult film that got submitted there. But the other ones, I'm going to do my best to watch them all. And I feel like that should make me an official voter for the Academy because I actually give a shit about watching everything and giving everything a goddamn chance.
Seriously.
Like, for real, they should have it almost, and I hate to use the Golden Globes as an example because this has its own set of problems, but I almost kind of feel like if you meet, like, a certain credibility level, that you should be able to be, like, an honorary or, like, junior, like, member of the Academy where you can vote on, like, broader topics, or at least, have different, like, access.
Exactly. Like, if I just got the screeners, I'd be fine with that. It's not like I'm sitting there just being like, yeah, I want them free screeners and swag. No, I want the screener because I want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
So, gosh, it's such a mess in that goddamn organization and such. It's like, what are we doing if half your people aren't watching shit? I would say my 5 are comfortably like K-pop Demon Hunters, Arco, Little Amelie, Zootopia 2. And well, I think Zootopia 2 now has way more of a chance because A24 fucking fumbled the ball with Nezha 2. So sorry to know Nezha 2 getting into the Oscars, which so freaking irritating, man. Like, what are you doing, A24? Oh god, I'm not over it. I'm not over it. I'm not going to be over it. I'm not going to be like what's his name? Chief Bogo from Zootopia. I'm not going to let it go. I'm mad, man. I mean, I don't know what that 5th one is supposed to be. Like,
do you think just because nothing else in the US is popping, that In Your Dreams could still make it in?
We have to watch that. So, and I think that's what we're going to do later because I feel like our next episode is probably going to be the anime podcast. We'll take a week off to make it happen and such. So it's like this will probably be like a later down the line thing. I don't know because I feel like In Your Dreams is doing fine on Netflix. I don't know. What would you say would be the 5th spot now that Nezha 2 has basically been taken out?
I could see, like, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe 100 Meters sneaks in because now it's getting the Netflix release, so maybe it'll be a little bit wider and more in people's, front of their brain.
I hope so. Like you said, because it's more accessible now that it's heading to Netflix, it may like pick up steam in the way that actually, you know what? Ask me this question after like the regional critics do their awards. So I'm gonna really pay attention to those and see what movies end up getting the prizes.
Might be a little bit easier to read the tea leaves.
Because, like, do you think any of the anime franchise films could sneak in, like Chainsaw Man or Demon Slayer? Or do you think...
No.
Yeah, like, I know a lot of people are excited about that, and that's great. But we've seen anime franchise films make it into the running before, and they never make it onto there. Like, I know so many of y'all went to see Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. I had to stop myself there because I was going to goddamn say Infinity Train. But I don't think it's going to happen. Like, as popular as they were, reviews and the public response to Demon Slayer Infinity Castle was, like, it looked cool, but,
Or, hey, you could listen to our review.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to our review, man, where we talk about it. And even though, like, Chainsaw Man has less story structure issues because of not being a part of a 3-part movie trilogy, I just don't see it happening. I know some people will say it will be, and even when they don't make it, we're probably going to get some anime YouTubers being like, the Oscars are a joke because they didn't let my precious anime movie in. And it's like...
Yes, your most normie... it's like, you're mad at the equivalent that, like, Avengers Endgame didn't get Best Picture. Like, sit the fuck down!
It's sad, but you're not wrong.
Like, listen, I understand why people were mad that A Silent Voice didn't get in 2017. Maybe then the distributor should have done a better job, because otherwise, yeah, I'm not shocked that Ferdinand and the Boss Baby got in over A Silent Voice and Mary and the Witch's Flower. Like, I love A Silent Voice and Mary and the Witch's Flower, but it wasn't technically a Ghibli movie, so... And they weren't going to nominate Lego Batman. So be happy that Loving Vincent and The Breadwinner got in. Even though the obvious one at that year was going to be Coco. Anime is bigger now, but we're still at that point where people are not nominating like Makoto Shinkai or Mamoru Hosoda, which I feel bad for Hosoda right now. His movie is getting dragged across the concrete in Japan, which... Listen, I still think the movie is good. I also agree that Mamoru Hosoda needs to get his writer back and that this is his weakest movie next to The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. But when we get to a point where the voters are voting for other Japanese directors like Shinkai, Hosoda, Yuasa, and what have you, then we can talk.
Well, I think part of the issue too is that a lot of the older Oscar voting base kind of needs to retire or go. That really, we're not going to start seeing like significant changes till the majority of voters are like millennial age. And I'm sorry, that's like a hard pill for people to swallow, but you need people that are more like Anne Hathaway's age in your voting body.
It really does seem like millennials are becoming somewhat of the elder statesmen when it comes to like the tastemakers of the industry, and the more of us in the academy, the more you're going to actually start seeing like actual tangible change.
I mean, let's be real here. We will see change when we do kick out the old voters and they stop voting for stuff like that. I'm sure people are looking forward to it, but that stupid Hugh Jackman biopic movie coming out, not a biopic about...
God, I hate every time it comes on.
Like, I'm sorry, it's a what? It's not about the actual musician, but a tribute band artist. Like, I'm sure the story's interesting, but...
Like, that is the baitiest bait. But it's Oscar bait, let's be honest.
And then there was also stuff like, is this thing on and such. And listen, I know Bradley Cooper wants to be so taken seriously as a director, even though his movies have just been kind of whatever. And the fact that A Star Is Born only got like Best Original Song because of, let's just be real here, it wasn't because of Cooper, it was Gaga. So, and it's like, if once we get those, like the elders, like members of the voters out, we'll stop seeing like the awards bait bullshit.
And we'll start seeing more horror.
Or they'll be like, hey, you know what? It's kind of racist that we can't let the other foreign movies be nominated in other spaces, so let's actually let them be part of the other categories like Best Actor, Best Cinematography, and such. Which I'm sure, like, Parasite was, but, like, Parasite was, like, a phenomenon and such. So, like, I would love to see, like, No Other Choice, or It Was Just an Accident, or, like, in other categories and such. Because, like, the acting in those movies are amazing. And, I mean, granted, I haven't seen No Other Choice, but come on, it's going to be great. It's Park Chan-wook, so it looks amazing. It's gotten like some of the best reviews of the year. It would be nice if they started, branching out some of those things and like, or letting animation in other categories as well, because sometimes some of the best acting comes from animated films. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I will still die by the fact that Scarlett Johansson not getting a nomination for her voice work was actually criminal.
God, that's such a good movie, and everyone learned a wrong lesson from that dang thing. But that's a topic for another time. So I don't know what else could be there because it's like SpongeBob's not going to make it.
Oh, hell no.
I know we all joke about the fact that like Avatar's just basically animated movies. James Cameron's going to be like, hell no, you keep them away from that kiddie table. Which, James, I'm sorry that K-pop Demon Hunters is the biggest movie of the year so far because it's a streaming movie, but get off your high horse. You're working for an AI company right now. Like, unless you're going to say, hey, you know what? We should just ban Gen AI all across the board. No one use it. It just, God, that guy pisses me off sometimes. It's like anytime Quentin Tarantino opens his mouth, it's like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, but honestly, I would tolerate being in a room with James Cameron more than Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
because Quentin
same.
Tarantino is just fucking annoying.
Yeah.
He's annoying, and his opinions run on Internet Explorer time.
Oh, God. Why didn't they sue the Hunger Games? Because Battle Royale did it first. And you know what? Battle Royale should have gotten sued by the people who did, what was that movie? Like, it's not the first movie about humans being forced to kill other humans. Okay, buddy? Calm down. So.
You can't copyright a concept.
Unless you're Warner Brothers, who copyrighted a bunch of gaming concepts and will not let them go now because they're not. Anyway, that's what this review is for. Done. This was fun. Let's all chill for a week or two so we can get the anime thing done, so we can just finally talk about the burnout and how this year has been underwhelming, despite so far actually like to tease a little bit about the fall anime season. It's actually been pretty much better than any other season this year. Like, it's kind of sad. I was ready to go in and be like, well, this is just another summer season, just like the last 3 seasons. But now I'm like, I actually have faith. So
that's good. That's good to hear, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of dreading doing the fall anime season, but we'll get more into that next time. Until next time, Bree, where can everyone find you online?
Well, if you wish to find me in the great wide interwebs, you can follow me at crazylemur.bsky.social. I am also on Instagram at lemurs1, which is technically connected to my Threads account, which I don't use because I actually looked at Threads for the first time, and holy shit, I thought Twitter was bad. Oh my god. So don't look for me there.
So, Cameron, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Twitter at camsiview.biz. I have my own website called camsiview.biz where I review animated films and shows from around the world called The Other Side of Animation. I am a contributor to Media Magpies, where your new one-stop shop for pop culture, media, film, TV discussion can be found. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/camsiview. That's where you can find me.
And you guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us now on YouTube at Renegade Pop Culture, on Podchaser, and consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. You can listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You can escape, so do we. That'll do it for this episode of Renegade Animation. We will catch you guys later. Peace out.